Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to give you another great workout you can do in your home. We're going to be starting on the floor with a set of dumbbells, and then we're going to kind of be up and down a little bit. You need a tube or a band that we're going to do a couple different things with. So I'll kind of show you how to set it up, and you can always press pause if you need a little more time before I start the exercise. So we're going to start with some chest flies on the floor in a bridge. So if you've done these before and you want to do them with a ball, that's okay too. Sometimes doing them a little bit differently than you normally do is a great way to do these, which is why I decided to do them on the floor today, because not everybody has a ball. Plus, just holding this bridge is just a little bit different also than doing it on the ball. So we are going to lower down to the ground. I've got my dumbbells right here. When you lower down to the ground and you're in this position for floor exercises, you really want to focus on keeping your back flat to the floor. So that's kind of the first motion that you make, is kind of a posterior pelvic tilt, but thinking about flattening your back to the floor. That will protect your back and engage your abs and get you prepared to move. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to get your feet set. When you go up into a bridge, you want to think about pressing your weight into your heels so you can lift up your toes pretty easily. And then think about squeezing your glutes. So the goal is not to go up as high as you can. You kind of start to substitute and use some different muscles there. Remember, flatten your back, squeeze your glutes, get up into that proper bridge. Okay, we're going to do some chest flies. So starting with the weights straight over your head like this, fly out to the side. And we're just going to hold that bridge for this whole set. Of course, if you need to, you can come down out of it and then reset whatever you need to do. If you're getting a hamstring cramp, stop and reset. Really think about squeezing those glutes. If this bothers your shoulders with the chest fly, you can bend your elbows a little and shorten that lever. Try a lighter weight if it's bothering you. And also remember to keep your shoulders down. Don't let them hunch up to your ears. And one more. Okay, good. And lower down out of that bridge and gently set your weights down. Okay. Now let's work on that floor to stand. Over on your hands and knees. One leg up. Bring your chest back or your weight back over your back hip. And stand up. Okay, next we're going to do some stationary lunges. So when we do a lunge, it's really important that our front knee stays over our ankle and doesn't lunge forward over your toes. So do this next to a countertop or something sturdy so you can hang on to if you need to. You can also grab a weight. I'm just going to use one of my dumbbells because that's easy. You can grab a weight. When you do this, I want you to start with your feet pretty wide apart, a long stride, and then take your body and you're just going to sit straight down. So you're keeping your chest up tall, looking straight across the room, your eyes straight across the room. Your weight should be in your front heel. So just like your bridges, you want to be able to pull up your toe. And like I said, this is also a little bit of a balance challenge. So you may need to use, a folding chair or a kitchen chair, or doing this next to your kitchen sink is another great way to do it. Staying in this position with your feet like this, it's a little bit easier to maintain proper form than when you have to step forward or step backwards. If you're having any knee pain or any other pain, do a smaller one. You don't have to go all the way to the floor, just do a little bit smaller. You'll notice I'm only holding a weight in one hand. You're welcome to hold weight in two hands if you want, but then that doesn't allow for you to hang on to anything. Okay, good, that was 10. Now we're gonna turn around. Make sure, all right. Put your other foot in front. It's a pretty wide, it's a pretty long stance. So if you find yourself here and you start to go down, like it's really hard to maintain those proper angles. So don't be afraid to step a really long ways back, but that's why we're using something for balance. So straight down, Keeping your chest nice and tall, eyes looking across the room. And then when you're down here, look, I've got a 90 degrees. I have 90 degrees here, 90 degrees in my other knee, and then straight back up. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not lunging forward, I'm just lunging straight down. And you can use anything in this other hand for a weight. You can use a kettlebell, you can use a weight plate, lots of different things you can do for an extra weight. Let's do one more, all the way down, all the way up. Remember, you decrease that range of motion if you're having any knee pain. Okay, now we're gonna move over to where I've got my tubes set up here. And we're gonna do some side twists. A time or two ago, we did some wood choppers, which was a high to low. And this time we're just gonna pull it out to the side. I've got that a little bit high there. Okay. So a nice wide stance. My feet are nice and wide. I'm not in a squat, but I'm in a good athletic stance. My knees are bent, my hips are back just a little bit, my core is engaged. I'm ready to move. So when you're in this position, you're much more able to have proper form and support your back, support your core, than if you're standing straight and all of your joints are rigid and locked. It's much easier to incur an injury when you're in that position. So a good athletic stance, ready to move. Arms, I'm gonna pull over here and pull straight across. So this is a side twist. My arms are straight. I'm kind of transferring my weight from side to side, and it's just straight across. 5, 6, 7, keep those shoulders down away from your ears. 8, 9, and 10. The great thing about working with tubes is you can change the resistance by stepping out further and making it harder, or stepping closer and making it easier. And then of course, if you have other resistance, you can use those. And like I said before, you can always just press pause, figure out what resistance works best, and then come back to it. Okay, so now we're gonna turn around. I'm gonna move out just a little bit. So I'm starting over here and pulling across. 2. Keeping those shoulders down away from your ears, keep breathing. In that good athletic stance, a little bit of knee bend, a little bit of hip bend. Your core is nice and tight. So this is working your shoulders a little bit and your core. And 10, good, all right. Good old side twists. Okay, now we're gonna stand. We're gonna do a standing hip exercise. So a few times ago we did a hip abduction. This time we're gonna do hip extension. So instead of moving out to the side, we're extending back. With this one, it's important to keep your hips level and just move that straight back. So you're noticing it's not a very big movement. We're moving straight back. I'm really just clearing my front foot when I pull that back. This leg, this knee stays straight, and I'm squeezing right under my glutes here, right under my cheeks. Nice and slowly. And that small range of motion comes, I really can't go past this range of motion unless I start to tip forward. And I don't want to do that. And I also don't want to arch my back. So keep your core tight. Everything here stays stable. And you're just squeezing under those cheeks. This is a really great hip stabilizer. Working those hip extensors, working those glutes, piriformis. And then also, when you're standing on this hip, make sure this one stays nice and level and stable. So you don't want to start to go do this. And you also don't want to hike it up to move it. So if you find you're doing that, you can also do it like on the side of a step or something, so you've got a little more room. So if this was my staircase, I could stand on the edge like this. And then I've got a railing to hang on to for balance. Okay, I'm gonna switch sides. So nice and strong, stable, level, just straight back just a little bit. It's not a very big movement, and I'm keeping my knee straight. Nice and slowly, really get that squeeze. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, now we're going to come back over here to our bands. Now I've got mine set up for the ease of the video, but if you need to move your door hinge, I've got mine in the top. We're going to do a triceps extension. So importantly with this one, we're just moving the elbow joint. So our triceps are right here in the back of our arm, and they straighten our arm. So we're just isolating those muscles. So we'll do a little bit of a tandem stance. So we've got just a little bit of a balance as well. So, whoops, moved over on me as I started. Start right here with them at your shoulders and press straight down beside your hips. So the only joint moving is your elbows. You don't want to let it come forward like this and then down. That's more lats, and we've done that before, but right now we're really just isolating those triceps. And you should feel that right in the backs of your arms. If you need to, you can change the strength of your band. You can step back just a little bit if you need more resistance. Your triceps are not a really big muscle, so this isn't going to take a lot of resistance to get this contraction. Keeping your shoulders down, away from those ears. And one more. Good. All right, triceps extension. You should be feeling that right in the backs of your arms here. Okay, the last one we're going to do, we're going to lower down to the floor. Got my computer there. All right. We're going to do some obliques. Your obliques are your side abdominal muscles. There's a lot of muscles in your core that make up your core, all the way from your hips up to your shoulders. This is your core, not just right here. So what I'm going to have you do is turn your feet to the side like this. I'm going to turn this way so you see me first. I'm going to roll over onto my side like this. So my hips are on the side, almost like I'm going to do a clamshell or something. And then roll my shoulders back this way. If this hurts your back, don't do this. Just do straight ones like this. But I've got my hips rolled over. I'm going to roll my shoulders back. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of a crunch. Now, it's not very big. You're not going to be able to come up very far, but you're contracting right here. And the only thing I'm putting my hands back here for is just to kind of hold my head. I'm not pulling with my arms. I'm pulling right here. Like I said, it's not a very big movement. 8, 9, 10. Good. So let's turn onto our other side. So get nice and flat, and then roll over onto that other side. Roll back, just your shoulders, your hips will stay like that. I'm putting my hands here just to hold my head, not to pull on it. So I'm not yanking. I still want to think about pulling my head up with I'm using my core here, my obliques, my side abdominal muscles. 1, 2. So I'm thinking about pulling up towards the ceiling versus crunching down. So I want to rope from my chest that I'm pulling up towards the ceiling. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good. Okay, so that's all we have for today. Go ahead and go through them 1 to 2 more times at least. Get a good contraction, try to get to that muscle fatigue where you're feeling like your muscles are really tired, but not pain. So there's a fine line there. I want a muscle fatigue, but not pain. So please let me know if you have any questions or if you need any substitutions or ideas for things, and I'm happy to help you with that. Keep moving, everybody. Thank you.